PWO, 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 PWO.
Welcome to Podcast World Order. It's Monday night. Better than Raw.
Yo.
I'm your host, Matt. I got Dwight right next to me.
Yeah, that's the Dean of Old School where you're coming from, buddy.
I got Hitman Hall down here.
Hello, hello.
We have the Cod Father, Ryan Coddington.
Arion is still pretty bad. Sorry.
She just botched. Yeah, she's the same.
Maybe it's
That's
because
what I
I was
thought.
watching y'all, but
There we go.
and we got Pat back by popular demand.
Man.
Prepared for tropical storms.
Funk is
right.
on the run.
Hey,
God,
stand back. A hurricane's coming through.
God,
Tropical depression.
God, it took her 7 seconds from the hot tag. She's running about
That's
7
it.
seconds.
That's a lukewarm tag.
So to let you guys know, while we are live, and we are always live on Mondays now, we also know that AEW's Women Tag Tournament starts at 7 on Mondays. So a couple of us have that on the background while we're also on here. So for those of you who have been with us for the year-long journey that we've been doing this now over a year, still crazy. Back when we would be on Mondays and timed up with Raw, you'd get some live. You get some
Live reactions.
Anna Jay and Tay Conte just went on. They just beat Nyla and Ariane.
I told you. I told
Star
you.
of the show with the bow down to the Queen as the finish.
Spoiler
She
alert.
can go.
It's live. It's live while it's on. It's canon.
Yeah, let's say it's
Spoilers.
Canon. No
For
longer
those-
spoilers. It's live.
For those that have a spouse, I know we each have that one person where if your spouse dies, there's the one person where you're given the green light to go for. Canada.
No, not me.
Jeff, have you had that conversation?
I love you,
with
Sarah.
I have not.
You better.
I don't know.
We got
You
freaking
better.
COVID. We got freaking
no.
COVID. We got tropical storm coming.
Nope.
I don't know.
2020.
I'd have to put it down on paper.
Hey,
It's not
but
real,
let's talk about something good that happened in 2020.
Mhm.
Susie.
Did you say Susie?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He is sick.
We're talking about The Rock being a major partner with, I believe, Danny Garcia. I believe that's her name. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing anything.
Yeah.
Teamed
The
up
old ex-wife.
to buy
Yeah,
the
it's his-
XFL.
That's his ex-wife. Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
it's
that,
ex-
but that's cool that they're
Yeah.
working
Yeah.
together at least.
Well, maybe it was part of the deal.
Yeah. It could also.
part of the settlement.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the financials too, because if that's where a majority of his
Well-
shares coming from, they might
Was-
have it together.
Didn't work
She-
for Ted Turner and the Braves.
Ooh,
She had.
hey, Conte
she has-
helping Ariane come. Okay.
She has her own. She has her own media company or some PR company or something. So that didn't surprise me.
No, and I'm not sure that's a good thing or not, having watched the Titan games, but we'll see.
Obviously, it's a good thing for one reason and one reason
No,
only.
not obviously.
I mean, I dug the Titan games because I'm a mark for American Gladiator, so that was right up my alley.
Guys, you're missing out on a big thing here. Washington finally has a team name. DC Defenders are back.
No.
Washington football team got to compete with the Defenders. Now, which one are you rooting for?
Neither.
I'm definitely. Yeah.
One was actually good, and the other one were the Redskins.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Do you believe that we are Indians?
Yeah.
and now we're getting canceled already.
That's
It's
right.
begun 2020 in full effect here. Before we get any further, I promised on Thursday that Jeff was going to tell us about some New Japan things going on, like a certain new tournament that's happening.
Oh, I'm actually one behind now because they just had the thing. They just had
First round.
whatever the. No. They just had the latest pay per view. Okay,
got you.
so this is
Summer
Dwight.
Struggle.
Did you watch Sengoku or what? Sengoku Lord? I forgot how to
Not
say
yet.
this thing. Okay. Well, yeah. So Okada, I don't know if it's an Okada thing or it looks like it's specifically for Okada, so he shouldn't be around the title. That's what this tells me. But they're having this King of Pro Wrestling where the fans can decide like the stipulation of matches, and it can be 4 ways, and guys are going to wrestle. And I guess it's at the end of the year, it's a rolling, so you get a trophy. It's not going to be a belt. They have a bunch of those already. But yeah, so it's along those lines. So it's going to be interactive with the fans, and they can decide the matches. And I guess I would assume maybe it's still up in the air, but I assume by like Wrestle Kingdom, you're going to be dwindling down on who's the king of pro wrestling for the year. I guess I don't know. It's still kind of new. So yeah, that's that.
So it's kind of a play on like Cyber Sunday.
Yes.
Yes.
bit? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
All right. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's another thing that's going to make people look good, I guess, or give them something to do. So without a belt. So
This is very weird to think about New Japan with stipulation matches.
yeah, but I mean, but they're doing a little stuff that they wouldn't usually do either. In any way, I think that's going to lead to Naito winning the belt back off of Evil, but we'll see, I guess.
Fair. We're going to stick with a little bit more New Japan news. We just recently learned last week that Hiromu Tanahashi is injured and will be out for the remainder of, I believe they said August, but he might be back soon. They didn't say how serious the injury was. Following up on that, Juice Robinson is injured and will not be joining the New Japan U.S. shows coming up, especially considering they have a U.S. New Japan Cup happening as we speak. They've also stripped Shingo Takagi, Evil, and Bushi from the six-man championships, the openweight titles. And now we have a new tournament featuring the teams of Kazuchika Okada, Toriano, and Sho.
Why were they stripped?
Because Evil decided that the six-man tags were beneath him instead of him having to team with LIJ one more time.
Right. So it's
okay.
It's a kayfabe thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Good
kayfabe
book.
thing.
Really
That's fine. That's fine.
More so vacated.
That's fine.
Vacated
That's fine.
is probably
That's fine.
a better term
No,
there.
that's fine. Well, my
Um,
brain was thinking like if New Japan strips somebody, what in the world's going on? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
Well,
yeah,
they
that's
stripped-
fine. That's fine.
They stripped Mox just because he couldn't be at the shows, so it could also
Yeah. Mhm.
But so first team, Kazuchika Okada, Toriano, and Sho. Still weird that Yo is out with injury and affecting that, but Yujiro Takahashi, Jado, and Gato.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just further that storyline.
Yep.
Sanada, Shingo Takagi, and Bushi. So just
Yep.
replacing Evil.
Yep.
Minoru Suzuki, El Desperado, and Dookie.
Yeah.
Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Master Wato.
I know. I laugh every time I hear that too.
Mm.
So that's dumb.
Master Wato and Dookie are the ones I just can't.
You should have seen him in the like 4 or 6, or it was a 4-man tag, but it went down to 6-man tag or whatever it was. You should have seen him in the damn match.
Not any good.
No.
No. He's.
not
I mean,
bad.
he's just. No. It's not bad, but he's just interesting at best.
The gimmick is not great.
Yeah.
It's very.
It kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of like. Did y'all watch Iron Man 3? Remember when what's his face was the God, the actor. I'm blowing it now. I shouldn't have said it. God damn it. Never mind.
Hold on, wait. You think about Don Cheadle?
No.
No.
The guy, the bad guy in that wasn't really a bad guy. He was an actor. So then when they found him,
Oh my god!
Wasn't it Mickey
yeah.
Rourke?
No, that was Iron Man 2.
Yeah, when they found him,
it
he was
was-
like, "Hey,
it
he
was
was like,
the-
hey guys,
It was the Mandarin.
The Mandarin.
Yes.
Comic book nerd
Yes.
right here.
Yeah. It was a Mandarin, but he wasn't really Mandarin. He was an actor playing a Mandarin. I was like,
Right,
oh, this is a work. But
Swerve.
All
that's
right,
what this
I
Watto
got-
guy looks like.
I got three more teams for you here. We got the worst professional wrestler in the world, Zack Sabre Jr.,
Yeah.
Hate
Tai
that.
Chi, and Kanemaru.
They can-
Hanma, Togi Makabe, and Taguchi. So Taguchi Japan, always getting team.
Yep.
Ishii, Goto, and Yoshihashi.
Yeah.
Bless.
God bless
Yoshihashi.
Yoshihashi.
Just how Yoshihashi finally gets one.
Yeah, who knows? I don't think so.
Carried
No.
by Ishii and Goto.
I think that's a Lij just gets it handed right back to them. You know, they just win it right back with Sonata taking it.
I feel like if you're gonna do that,
They won't happen, but I would like that to happen.
could
Yeah, I
could
don't think
this
that's
be
going to
Master
happen.
Watto's time.
Oh God.
Watto for 6-man tag.
Yeah,
Hopefully
it could be.
not.
Well, no, I think it's Tai Chi's time. Honestly.
Hey, put some respect on Tai Chi's name, damn it.
Yeah, and you know El Desperado. Those guys are good.
Yeah, Desperado was good. He was great.
Mm.
All right, and from New Japan, we're coming back to the States. We have some WWE news.
Oh God, God. Let's not spend too much time on this because we really don't know until we see what happens. You know, we only.
Well, this has been heavily reported, but the date keeps moving. We're scheduled for a draft.
Yep. Yeah.
What does that mean anymore?
Right. Nothing means.
It
anything.
means
In
a couple of guys will be on SmackDown instead of Raw for a couple of weeks, and then when nothing changes, they'll just slowly,
Okay.
go
Yeah,
back.
What's
to
what-
Raw.
What's different? What's the difference between this and like the not too long ago? Didn't he have like a shuffle or
This
wasn't there like
is-
a?
Yes.
It was a year ago, actually.
This is
Yeah.
how they bring up NXT talent and maybe send Shorty G back to NXT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although we'll get to him for SmackDown results here in a minute.
Which has been happening anyway. I think if you know how on BTE Matt Hardy always brings up the wrestling insider terms, you know.
Mhm.
That's Matthew to you.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy.
The insider term
The
here
name.
is hot shot booking, and hot shot booking is when you figure it out week to week and you don't have a long term plan, and that's
Yeah.
what WWE does.
I-
They look
I
at the
read-
ratings and go, "We got to do something. Let's do something." So
I
they
read
a
a
lot of
report-
do something.
I read a report that they're taping 2 Raws tonight, and they sat down and Vince nixed 28 of the 32 segments that were proposed for these 2
Right.
Raws. And
First of all,
they had to
32
rewrite,
segments in 6 hours is ridiculous.
yeah, but apparently he only approved of 4 of the 32 that were proposed.
Well, it goes back to remember when Road Dogg stepped down off the writing team and he had that brief little tirade where he said he was tired of doing all this work to have it just erased the day of the show,
Yeah.
and then he apologized and pretended he didn't say it because he wanted to keep his job. Well, I mean, he's right. That's the problem. It's like they put effort, and it shows. It shows with the product.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, so this draft was expected to be sometime this month. It's been said to October. And then we've heard September, and I believe Dave Meltzer saying now it's back in August. My big thing is, why the hell would you have a draft in October when your next pay-per-view coming up is all about brand supremacy?
Because they need time to book it.
Because
guys.
they're not gonna do brand supremacy this time for Survivor Series. Well,
I'm glad I popped away.
they'll just
Yeah,
they'll
that was
just
good. That was
they'll
good.
drop that.
Well, we'll just make it August so we can book it as we go. You know what I'm saying?
What's-
We'll
what's
book,
funny,
it'll,
man-
it'll be booked by that time.
Well, funny. Hey, here's the thing. It's August now, and we still don't know that. Isn't that sad?
Man, all right. So that kind of leads into my next point here. It's August 3rd. Do you guys know that in 20 days we have SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Yes, because I wrote it on my calendar.
Yeah, I wrote it on my calendar too because I was planning on having it at my house outside. Remember?
Yeah.
We still doing that? We still doing that, Dwight?
Hey, as far as
Are
I
you,
know.
are you gonna be allowed out of your house?
I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Jeff.
Jeff is breaking out. He's gonna be in maybe a bubble.
I may not be able to
Dude,
come
it-
back, but at least I'll get.
Actually,
Hey, we have
Actually,
8
one of those
acres to
Hulk
social
Hogan-
distance on.
actually, one of those Hulk Hogan posters on his wall already has a hole chiseled out of it, and he's just leaving it up to die.
It's just like Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
All right.
Oi. So we're 20 days away from SummerSlam. Braun is still dead.
Mm-hmm.
So are
Does
we
he
gonna
come back
bring
as Jason?
Mhm.
No. That is very
No.
much so.
The Fiend was already Jason.
No.
That already happened.
That is Talking Shop of Mania there.
Oh, okay.
Luke
Oh,
Gallows already stole that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
y'all missed it on that. Y'all should
the
came
worst.
over for that.
The worst pay-per-view I've ever seen.
Are you sure?
What was it?
So far, as our comment section have already pointed out, the worst pay-per-view you've seen so far.
Okay.
I mean, the horror show was pretty bad.
Reference
was.
discretion.
At least this one
I
was supposed to be bad.
I didn't watch it, but I saw a bunch of stills on Twitter, and boy, it just looked like It looked like we could have ran it out of here in my backyard. From what,
Yeah,
from what I
right.
saw.
That's about what it was. So there's definitely some stuff. Are we doing this now, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's do it now. Let's do it now.
So like there's definitely some segments that you could cut out. You can watch the whole thing about 45 minutes. It's an hour and a half long.
What was it on? Was it on YouTube?
Don't
No,
fight.
it was on Fight. Yeah.
So you had to pay for it.
Yeah, it's
$15.
$15.
Yeah, it's $15.
It was worth it.
I laughed. I laughed a lot.
It was really
it-
so.
Was it only like an hour and a half?
It was an hour and a half long.
Oh, that's not bad.
So Chavo and Rocky Romero as Chico Luchador had a running bit throughout the whole show where Chavo literally tried to shoot him with a rifle at one point, kill him, because the Luchador and Guerrero families are arch rivals.
He even said on commentary, "No, of course I don't like him. I'm gonna kill him."
Yeah, and then
that was the gimmick.
and that was
I see
the
what
whole
you did there.
He tried to murder him throughout the show, and eventually pinned him for the
Talking Shop of Mania.
Talking Shop of Mania 24/7 title. And
That's good stuff.
then the whole the Boneyard match,
Boneyard.
the Boneyard match between Chad Too Bad and Sex Ferguson, which are Gallows and Anderson's Southpaw Wrestling foils, was the main event, and it was a 30-minute match, and it was fantastic. Which had cameos with Heath Slater and Kurt Hawkins sitting in lawn chairs, like right there watching the match. The Rock and Roll Express set up a gimmick table to try and sell autographs in the middle of the match. My favorite spot of the whole thing is Anderson showed up in a hearse, and they're fighting next to it, and Gallows misses him and punches the hearse. And he's like, "Oh, damn it! Undertaker broke it when he punched it. Man, that guy's so strong." and they just shot. It was just shooting through the whole thing. He's punching Anderson at one point during the match, and he's like, "God, you're so stiff." Yeah, I never learned how to wrestle. Like, the whole thing is like that for 30 minutes, and it's just,
Oh my god!
it is the comedy wrestling that you like, because it is just such a satire. It was really, really funny.
I probably lost it the most. There's two things. A, the dude who Zack Ryder ripped his tights like forever ago on WWE TV was booked for the match, and he wanted revenge. He wants revenge against Ryder, and he knows he's a free agent now. So get his ass out here. And Kurt Hawkins, now Brian Myers, is like, dude, what? He's not even here. I think he signed by AEW already. But we got the next best thing, and out comes Swoggle as Swoggle Dona.
Who who Kurt Hawkins had to help climb into the ring and up the turnbuckles for the tadpole slam. That guy could barely walk, but it was pretty funny. They also had a random spot in a match where you just had 90s WWE and ECW guys show up to hit their finisher.
Well, they started like 80s Russians versus the Jungle Kittens, making fun of 80s wrestling.
And D'Lo Brown came out hitting Sky High. Rhino came out and hit some gores.
We had a Yeti sighting.
Yeti sighting. The Flock showed up.
Oh, that's great.
Who was in the Flock? Who?
Oh God, who was it? Because Raven was in there, but it was.
Do you have Reese?
I don't even.
Yeah, Reese,
Lodi, Sick Boy.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you meant to say Guy, as in Guy Fieri.
Brian Pillman Jr. had a spot in that match.
Nice.
And they were like, "Is that Brian Pillman?" No, it's his son.
We're missing, I think, my favorite spot, though, because I think it's worth mentioning, is in the middle of the Boneyard match. Anderson gets knocked into what is going to be the buried alive area. And there's just a mannequin hand sticking out, but it has on one of AJ Styles' gloves. And Anderson just grabs it and goes, "Uncle Alan, it's okay. I know you fought for us. You did everything you could. You even changed brands."
Oh my God!
And they did have a spot in the middle of the match where they knocked each other out and did like a Being the Elite segment with the Young Bucks, where it showed how they were going to sign with AEW in September 2019, and Triple H emailed them in the middle of the meeting with a seven-figure deal, and they reneged on the Bucks, and the Bucks were standing there. They're like, "Well, what do we do?" And Matt Jackson's like, "The only wrestling move we know," and they super kicked them both. And they were like, "You marks, you're gonna end up in Impact." And they're like, "No, not TNA." I'm telling you, it was hysterical. It was like, if you can find that on YouTube, you need to at least watch that match.
I'll check it out when we get off here.
But that's why creative guys like them don't belong in WWE. Seriously, because that would have never happened.
No.
They got themselves over more in those 30 minutes than they did their entire WWE career.
And that's the bummer, is if you've only seen their work in WWE, like if you never watched them in New Japan or anything, like you're going, who are these guys? Why didn't we see any of this in WWE?
And this is what I've been saying for the past year. Like, don't get me wrong, money is great, and money, you'll do a lot of things for money. But like, at what point, like, are these guys going to realize, like, stop going to WWE? You know what I mean? Like, if you've already had your payday, you know what I'm saying? And you've
for a guy like Carl Anderson, I get it. Like, you're in your mid to late 30s.
Yeah.
Go get some money. You don't have to go.
You got a hot wife.
You don't have to travel to Japan. If I know he lives here in the States, as well. So I get it from that. And that's, obviously I'm sure that's why they went to Impact instead of back to New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But
their deal says they're allowed to go do both.
Yeah, but I mean, not working full time in New Japan. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I get it. Get your money. You're never gonna see me. Be mad at somebody for getting their money, but at the same time,
you're right, Pat.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's starting to change a little bit, though. Like, I'm starting to not feel bad for these people.
Well, if I can get 600,000 being in AEW a year versus $1 million to WWE, like, I'll go to AEW for sure. But like, if you're working $1 million versus 100,000, I ain't mad at you for taking the $1 million.
Not at all.
Well, let's very quickly say our last thing for news prior before we go to our top 10 here. Kind of getting you ready for Raw tonight. We got two surprises coming to us, a la WWE's Twitter and WWE.com. As we all learned, last week we had the quarter discussion and what their plan is, pushing new stars. And we got our new star who's going to be on TV tonight.
Shane McMahon.
Shane McMahon is going to be on TV tonight.
There we go. Money.
Here comes the money.
They also
Here comes the Miro.
On their WWE Twitter that there would be a brand new faction debuting tonight.
Yeah, the superstars comprising this faction have yet to be revealed, but rumblings around the WWE Performance Center say that the group is out to cause chaos and shake up the organization's structure. What does this alliance have in store for the Red Brand? Find out tonight on Raw at 7 Central on USA.
Jeez.
Nope, because you're here with us.
Or you're doing what I'm doing and have it on both.
Are they going to throw a hodgepodge together, or is this Undisputed Era coming up?
I don't know. After Wednesday, I feel like, it felt like NXT was still, Undisputed Era had work left to do in NXT.
Right.
Like, they were getting some revenge of sorts. So I feel like if it's Undisputed Era, it's way too premature. But I actually think it's LIJ.
Huh.
So
Well,
I think
LIJ.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Cedric, it's Ricochet, and it's Ali.
Mm-hmm.
Because
They did trademark Just Us, like Justice, but JUSTUS.
Yay. Can't wait. It's
That's
gonna
what
be
I-
it's gonna be great.
it's
Please,
gonna
God,
be
don't-
WWE's version of Major League Wrestling's Injustice.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
please, God, don't do some like. I'm not
What-
even gonna say
Okay,
it.
yeah,
I'm not
whatever
gonna say
you
it. I'm not
whatever
gonna
you're
say
gonna
it.
say, that's what they're gonna do. Although I will say
whatever
best-
you're thinking,
Yeah.
you're right.
that's right. Well, I would say the best take on this. I don't know if you saw Twitter. Miro, the former Rusev, he goes quotes: "We want to build new talent. Shane is back." Sums it up, and that's true.
Absolutely.
And that's been like that forever. And we're going to do a top 10, and we're going to talk about that a lot here when we do our top 10.
Yes.
If I could, Maria Kanellis just put out a tweet. WWE doesn't want to build new stars. They want to spike the ratings for a couple weeks to keep the investors and networks happy. What WWE doesn't seem to get is ratings improve when people care about the story and the stars. Invest in talent, spend the time building stars, stop the laziness.
Like Dwight said, it's called hot shotting.
That reminds me that Maria Kanellis had a spot in that Boneyard match where she was there in a one piece and Carl Anderson was trying to hit on her. And Gallows knocked him out and was like, "Why?" She's like, "Why am I even here?" And he's like, he booked you. He's got a thing for you. He's trying to get closer to you, like taking a shot at Joey Ryan.
God.
Anyway.
I can't anymore.
Look.
I can't anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you watch it. I will pay the $15.
It was really funny, man.
I'll watch it.
You'll appreciate it for all the shots. I mean, they don't pull a lot of punches, man. They're hot shotting people big time.
I don't mind. I don't mind stuff being funny if it's making fun of itself and trying to be funny. I don't like funny stuff being portrayed as serious. So
yeah, oh no,
I'm fine with that.
That is the last thing this is trying to be.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm gonna alter my stable because it's gonna be the three I already mentioned and Apollo Crews because he's back.
He is. He's defending the United.
The black people and ethnic people unite.
All the ethnic people unite against the black guys in MVP's group.
The hurt.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get two gangs of minorities fighting each other on TV.
It's okay if they're fighting other blacks. Like, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. Just
Got it.
don't get the Lucha House Party involved. Please, for the love of God.
Top 10.
God, I'm not gonna make this joke here.
Apollo Crews out first.
So our top 10, Ryan, you want to introduce the top 10 this week?
Yeah, so our top 10 this week is top 10 misused talents who have or are currently on the main roster, which includes Raw and or SmackDown. who have been in NXT at one point or another. This can be anyone who is currently with the company or not.
Oh, okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Apollo Crews sporting the old USA title, as well. Just throwing that out
that's
there.
his title, and the other one's MVP's title.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Just keeping everybody posted.
I got it. I'm watching. I'm ready. So if there's a title change, we'll be the first to announce it.
Unfortunately,
It'll put butts.
Yeah.
It'll put butts in seats.
I got some honorable mentions, and so I'm going to specify. For me, I took this as when NXT became its own brand.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of Triple H took over, we created the NXT World Title. So for me, it was then onward. And my honorable mentions are the War Raiders, Ruby Riott, and AOP.
I'll go ahead with honorable mentions. My honorable mentions were Finn Balor and Bo Dallas. My list is kind of, for the most part, the way I was trying to do it was success and amount over you were in NXT versus success you've seen on the main roster. So, like, someone who's held some belts on the main show, even though maybe they're not the star they were in NXT, won't necessarily be as high as, like, someone who was a prominent person in NXT and then, like, just stopped being on TV.
Right.
Anyone else have honorable mentions?
Yeah, I got some.
Go
Oh
ahead.
my
Go ahead.
God.
Everybody. All right, Dwight, go.
All right. So mine, I was saying when I did my top 10, I went back to when Florida Championship Wrestling became NXT. So I went back to the very beginning. But what I did was I included some sort of, as I looked at the list, I started to see some patterns emerge, and you'll see them. But here's my honorable mentions. I have AOP also, because I think it's really too soon to tell on them. I think they've been injuries and stuff. It's really not. It's kind of unfortunate. Anyway, Shayna Baszler, American Alpha, Vaudevillains, Emma, and Sanity. Those are mine.
Mine are kind of all over the place. Some are just good wrestlers. Some are what they meant to NXT. Some are just my own personals. You know what I'm saying? I got everything rolled into one. So I got Bull Dempsey, CJ Parker, Camacho, Enzo and Cass, weirdly. And then the Prince Pretty Tyler Breeze.
Okay.
All right, Ryan, any honorable mentions?
So my list is if they've had more than one title run with any main roster title, excluding the 24/7 championship, and then if they've also been a WWE or a Universal Champion, they are not on my list. So honorable mention, with that being said, I have Ruby Riott, Elias, Leo Rush, Eric Young, and Baron Corbin.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start off, if y'all don't mind. My number 10 is Ricochet. Man, he was just so much more legitimate and won a whole lot more matches. And, like, sure, he's won a couple individual title runs, but none of them have really been eventful. And right now, because, as always, with wrestling promotions, we have nothing for him, so we're going to put him in a tag team with Cedric Alexander. Jeff, it's your
All the
favorite
black
team. Ryan, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is Ember Moon. She's another one that's been plagued by injuries. I think maybe got called up a little prematurely because she was with, Asuka during her title run. But I think once she's healthy, I think that she could be a really big asset.
I'll go next because my number 10 is Ember Moon.
Hell yeah.
I agree with everything Ryan said. She is so much, I know she's been injured, but she is so much better than a